Okay, let me escape and get to, the first website I want to take you to is Storybird. And some of you may have heard of this. I like Storybird. Unable to open the search page. Okay. Internet Explorer. I don't know why it can't open the search page. If somebody can figure that out. It won't go to the search page. No, I just want to get on the internet.
Oh, okay.
We are connected. I like using technology because it's less intimidating for children. I have had children, I've used this a lot with English language learners, and the first thing they tell me, because they, as an ESL teacher, they come to me, they feel comfortable, I'm their person, and I'm there to help them, so they feel comfortable in saying, but I can't, you don't understand, I can't write, I don't know English. And so we go to something like Storybird or Voicethread, and they write amazing things that just blow me away. And these are children who say, I can't write. So we're going to try this again. And this is just storybird.com. Hopefully it'll come up. Oh, well, that would help. With Storybird, what I did is go through, one of the things I like about Storybird is that there's art there. Any art teachers in here? I think art is so inspiring, and when students can't think of anything to say and they can look at artwork, it gives them a help in figuring out what to say. So Storybird, there are a lot of book creator, if you just Google book creators for children, you'll come up with Zooburst has the pop-up books, so cute. Kids can actually make a book, a pop-up book on the internet that's so cute. And Zooburst is zooburst.com. That one you can put your own pictures, so children can take a camera and take pictures. They can go on the internet and find pictures, and then they can use that. But Storybird uses artwork. So I'm going to sign in so we can see a Storybird I created for this.
Require a license?
It is
No, this is free. All right, hopefully it will open up.
Sue, you sure it's not bellsouth.net?
It is, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of com because of storybird.com, and that should solve the problem. Thank you. Let's see if... Okay, I'm going to go to me, and I'm going to go to books I've created. This is one of my published books, and we're going to read it. And this is just one, I took artwork that I found on Storybird, and as I looked at pictures, it made me think about what I could write. And I saw the pictures of this very cute little girl, and so I thought I would write Child of the Children's March. And we'll read that. So you can do a cover, And it automatically, when you sign in, it automatically puts you as the author. Children love that this is their book. They can share the book. The other thing you can do, and I'll show you this a little bit later, they can collaborate, and it always gives you an opportunity to collaborate with someone else. So this is Child of the Children's March. Why is that not? Okay. And this picture was artwork on the site. Even though I am a child, I believe big dreams can become reality. Every night I dream about the words I hear in church and in school. I can be anything I want to be if I'm willing to march for what I believe. Well, I don't know why this is doing this. Why is that not going away? Anyway, I don't know why we're not able to go to the next page, which we usually do on here. Okay, in other houses in our city, are other little girls dreaming big? Do they too believe in opportunity for all? And I can't figure out how to make this. Nope. Okay, instead of going through the whole book, because I'm really kind of running out of time anyway, I want to show you how to create a Storybird. Why is this doing this? Go back to you. Oh, maybe that's it.
Looks like the right mouse is being activated.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to, try this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, create.
Is that what it's still doing? Are you pressing this one? Or
Yeah.
that one?
Okay, this shows you the artwork. You get inspired by art. You can either look at art and you can look at more art. Anytime you click on artwork, it gives you a whole a whole lot of pictures that go with that artwork. And when you click on the pictures, then it gives you even more. You can also use themes. If you have something that you want to talk about, you can use a theme. There's themes like children, history, fear, parents, park, many words that you can just choose a theme from. And the words are down here, explore themes. Anything that you pick, you will get artwork that has something to do with that. So you can do unhappy, yawn, squirrel, and there are many other themes. So if you want to see more themes, you just go to more themes. Let's look at books as a theme. So all of this artwork has something to do with books. So to create, you get inspired by art. I'm going to pick this artwork right here, and it says start a Storybird with this art. And You begin by writing the name of your book. I'm just going to call it My New Storybird. When I go to the cover, I can pick, it automatically says it's by me. I can pick the artwork that I want, and there's my cover. And then I just do add a page. I can pick more artwork, whatever it is I want on my page, and then I write whatever it is. This is a new page. So children can do this. You can see how easy it is. You just go to add a page. When you add a page, you pick whatever artwork you want for that page, you move it over to the page, and then you write. So Storybird is very, very simple for children. When you're doing a Storybird, there's a menu up here. You can invite someone. So if you want to email this or send an invitation to someone to work on the Storybird with you, you can do that. You can also publish your Storybird. You can save your Storybird and look at it later. And it always saves all of your work at the bottom. All of the stories that you've worked on are at the bottom of the page. So you can open any book that you've worked on. So simple for children, and when they look at the art, they can get inspired, and they can write, and they can start out writing simple things. They can read each other's Storybird, because you can publish these onto the web, and when children go, they can just look at, if they've gotten an invitation, they can look at somebody else's Storybird. It gives children motivation for writing, and we're all always trying to find ways to get children to write. But remember, look for other story creators too. If you have an iPad or you have iPads in your classroom, there's something called Book Creator, and it is fabulous. Now, it does cost $5, but once you pay the $5, you can do as many stories as you want. And as an ESL teacher, I took my iPad and took it to school with me, and because I had a small amount of children, we could work on that. And I paid the $5, and I've probably done or had children work on 50 stories on Book Creator. So it's another one. The other thing about Book Creator is you can use your own pictures there too, or you can go to the internet and import pictures. For this one, you use the artwork, and for children who love art, and sometimes in our schools we don't have art. That's one of the first things that's cut. So I always like an opportunity to bring art in, and these are artists that they can choose from. Okay, so I'm going to go to one other site, and it's Voicethread. Has anybody used Voicethread? Voicethread is fabulous. I really, really, really like Voicethread. Now, the thing with Voicethread, it used to be, they used to have a K-12 account. It was totally free, and I use this all the time. Then, as happens sometimes to good things, that free went away. For your classroom, it's still free for an individual. So all I did, once they started charging for it, I just sign in and let children create on my account, which gets around that rule. You can get a classroom account, and then every student can have a voice page, a VoiceThread page, and I think you can do up to 30 on one account. So I'm going to show you some. So when you sign in, it shows you the voice threads that you've created. I'm going to show you this is one last night that I just put pictures of civil rights icons, and I wanted to show you how simple it is. This is my little icon down here. They have Monopoly symbols, so the little iron is on Monopoly. But if I want to change this to somebody else, I can come over here where it says create another identity. And you can see there are a lot of people already on my, you can upload a picture. Every time you try to say something on Voicethread, it allows you to upload a picture. But if you want to create another identity, you just come down here and add an identity, and you can put someone's name. Does anyone, when you saw those pictures, did it remind you of something you could say? Would anybody volunteer to say something about those civil rights icons? Okay, can you come up? Yeah, you got to come up and do it. Tell me your name. So, A-G.
A-G-N-E-S.
Okay. All right. Save. Done. Close. Can you come up? Okay, so this is Agnes.
I can hear everybody can hear me.
No, you got to come say it in here. Every time, if you haven't uploaded a picture or something you want to use as your personal icon, it lets you do it. So we'll just say, I'll do it later.
Okay.
When you comment, you just click right there, and then we click on record. So are you already thinking of what you're going to say?
First picture, is that W.B. Du Bois?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It is.
When I look at the picture.
Uh-oh, 1 second.
Gotta record it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When I look at the pictures here at the top, I look at the picture of W.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Rosa Parks. Each one of those historical figures represent a timepiece in the history of Black history. Many don't study too much of W.B. Du Bois, yet he was a pioneer in his own right, instituting the movement. I think he wrote the Miseducation of the Negro. Okay, and the souls of Black folks. That is
Yes.
exactly right. The souls of Black folks. Malcolm X. Many children know about him through the movie, but it would be great for you to read some of Malcolm X's speeches. He wrote some powerful speeches about social change and the need to abolish racism. And everybody knows about Martin Luther King. We have a wealth of literature out there for Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks just denying to give up her seat on the bus, pushed the movement within itself to become as prominent as it became.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know how to make the sound go up. Let me see.
Those historical figures represent a timepiece in the history of Black history. Many don't study too much.
You can't really hear.
He was a pioneer in his own right.
Hit the microphone
Institute.
Where is this? Oh, this one.
Okay, and the souls of Black folks. That's right. The souls of Black folks.
Does that? It's not picking up. Once you do this, the nice thing about it, it allows you to listen again and see if you want to keep that. If you don't like the way it sounded, or you decide you want to say something else, you can do that. But when you click on the little icon, you see it says, you see Agnes, and it begins. I'm sorry, I can't get it loud enough for you to hear. If I thought about it, I would have brought my little nifty speakers, but I don't have those.
There might be a connection that we can do here. Let's see.
Okay. I have these little speakers that I always just hook up to it. Anyway, so if the next student wanted to say something, you can go, and you can already have all your students in there. I think this is Jeremy.
That would be great when we just say, here's the table for speech writing, we have with the older kids. And when they put their speeches together, they can play it back, and they would be able to, like a public forum, or if you have a debate in your classroom.
Oh, absolutely. We have used it for so many different things. And hopefully I can open this just so you can hear a little of it. One application was having Hispanic women talk about their immigration experience, their experience coming here, and it's very powerful when you hear how they want a new life, they want good things to happen for their family, for their children, and it's very powerful when you hear that and you hear the hope in their voice, because they've come somewhere that they're hoping their life can be better. All right, let's see if this. It didn't work. No, you spoke loud enough. It just needs the speakers. I didn't think about this setup not having speakers, so this works, but I don't know why it's not. It's not powerful enough to pick up. I have had parents and children together work on Voicethreads, and just to let you know how much children absolutely love doing these Voicethreads, children in my class would come up with all kind of reasons to do Voicethreads. A couple of years ago when we had a kind of a big snow here in Birmingham, well, big for us, we had about this much, but my little third graders that I was working with at the time said, well, let's do a Voicethread on the snow. So they went on the internet and found pictures, and they talked about what they loved to do in the snow. And then that afternoon, I happened to be working with parents, and the parents got to listen to their children, and then they talked about their experience with the snow. And the next day when my third graders came back and heard that their parents on there, they just loved it. So there are all kind of ways you can use this. You can put a picture up and have children give their impressions of the picture. What is it that what did you think about when you saw this picture? What feelings did you have? Even things like, who do you think took the picture? What questions do you have? And really getting into more critical thinking things, especially with our elementary students. If you wanted to find out more, for instance, about the people in the Voicethread we just did, how could you find out more? What search terms would you use if you wanted to search for information about these people? How would you do that? Which is something I find students have difficulty doing, being able to know what search terms to find the information they're really interested in. And I wanted to leave you with something that I read a couple of days ago, and I thought it was very powerful. I'm a history person. I love history. I can't even imagine that somebody wouldn't love history. And this morning, as I was listening to Dr. Fallon, our speaker, and he was so wonderful, and I could have just listened to him forever, and it made me think of something I read and I don't remember where I read this, but history, let me make sure I get this quote right. History well told is a beautiful story. And he certainly told us a beautiful story, and we learned so much this morning. But it makes me sad when I read things like this. On last year's National Assessment of Education Progress, the NAEP test, high school seniors nationwide were given an excerpt from a landmark 1954 Supreme Court case that included the passage, "We conclude that in the field of public education, separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal." That was the phrase they were given, the passage, and they were asked what social problem the ruling was intended to correct. Could your students answer that question? Raise your hand if you think they could. If they could, they would join the 2% of seniors who took that test who were able to answer that question. And I think that's very, very sad. The test showed that American students are less proficient in history than in any other subject overall. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, however, civil rights history is an especially neglected topic in school. The group, which recently completed a comprehensive review of state standards and curriculum frameworks, found that most virtually ignore it. And we know how important it is for students to know the stories that we've heard today. Why do we study history? We have to study history. History is the whole laboratory of human experience. History is our human journey. It helps us understand people. It helps us understand societies. It helps us understand change and how the society we're living in today came to be. And when we study history, we give children the opportunity to assess evidence when we look at primary sources that we're going to talk about a little later, the importance of primary sources. And students looking at those sources, you would get a very different picture looking at what Bull Connor wrote and looking at what Martin Luther King wrote. It's important for students to know they have to be critical thinkers. And especially in this time, you know, we're getting ready to elect a president. And there's so many ads on television, you see flyers. Students need to be able to be critical thinkers and not believe everything they read, and understand how to analyze the information that they're given. So history contributes to moral understanding, and I think that's nowhere better taught than teaching 1963. And it's important that we do that. And when I read that 2%, only 2% of the nation's seniors who took the NAEP test were able to say what social problem that passage referred to me, that's very sad. So I hope all of us will just redouble our efforts in this time of race to the top, no child left behind. What is left behind is history. And I think it's one of the most important things we can teach our children if we want them to be good citizens, if we want them to be critical thinkers. And being a history person, I think you can teach anything with history, even math. So I'm a history buff and a history advocate, but it is sad when our children don't know history.
I was just going to say, I had a student say that to me about history, and it's not really taught as much. And I actually told the students, the fifth grade students, that if you study all of your presidents, that's your intro into understanding the history of the world as much as you can.
Exactly.
It's up to you to delve further to find out the particulars, because as you read about what each president contributed to the world, it will pique your interest to go even further.
Exactly, and I think that's something primary sources do for us. When you can listen to the words of Martin Luther King, when you can listen to the words of Roosevelt, it just to me is amazing. So thank you, and I think it's your turn to go upstairs.
Way too much. The one source that I'd recommend, guys, for primary sources, if you go to Google, and I put this in the packet on purpose, it is my favorite social studies website. If you Google primary sources and social studies central together, I'll say it again. If you Google primary sources and social studies central together, it is your very first hit. And Social Studies Central.
So that's all in the line.
What you get is a website that is a collection of websites with a variety of primary sources, songs, posters, diary entries, and so forth. It's a fantastic website. Well worth checking out. I wanted to mention it in relation to what Dr. Seay really focused on. If you can, just start migrating upstairs. Philip is going to take you on a tour of Vulcan. Thank you very much, guys. That's why I never trust technology.
Well, if I had my own.
You can. You're going to come back here.